Sitting with the hurt and the harm in one room. Let truth breathe easy so grace can bloom. Victim, offender, mediation, step by step. Teaching how to listen and make a safe rep. From cell blocks to classrooms, from courts to the street. Designing programs where real people meet. Community centers and facilities too. Building bridges that carry us through. 50 states traveled, a map full of skies. Showing how to journey with wide open eyes. Workshops and pages, your wisdom in ink. When the world needs mending, you help it rethink. Host of the Jacks, we lift every voice. Re-entry with dignity, give people a choice. Restorative justice, repair what was torn. Conflict resolution, new trust can be born. Family reunification, bring loved ones back. Hosting Just Jacks, we stay on that track. Let's go. When the lights fade low, the mission stays bright. Re-entry with dignity, we step toward the light. Restorative justice in motion, hearts reconnect. Conflict resolution with courage and respect. Family reunification, we open the door. Host of Just Jacks, keeping the circle square.
We did it. Look who's in the house with me. It's Kinga. And look at her go. Look at her go. She's like, boom. I want to do that. I love that. How are you, my friend? Do you have your sound on? Did you put your earbuds back in? Can you hear me? Kinga. Okay. There she is. Can you hear me now? Somebody put in the comments. Can you hear me? Because Kinga can't hear me. Oh my goodness. So, Just Jacks and Kinga. Just Jacks and Kinga. Can you hear me yet, Kinga? Because I can't hear you.
My sound isn't working.
Okay, we can hear you.
I'm gonna. It was fine. Can you hear me?
Now I can hear you, yeah. But she can't hear me. What are we going to do? Okay, I see smiles. Let me see. Does anybody say they can hear me? So he's saying he can't hear me too. Is that something that you can't hear me now? What happened? Weird. Kinga, speak. You talk, Kinga, because they said they can hear me, but not you. Put your little thingies off and just talk into your computer.
Hold on.
There she is. Right back. She's going to be right back. Okay, guys, we got so much planned for today. There is always some time. Okay, Bob Skolnick's in the house. Thank you for being here. Javi's in the house, guys. These are some of my awesome people from home. We've got Kenny in the house. We got Bill. Bill is going from YouTube and to Bill is LinkedIn. I love it. It's so great. We got Miss Christy in the house. I got to see her in a couple other shows today. And we are excited because it's the end of the year. We got through a couple of big holidays. We've got the New Year's Eve if you celebrate, if you don't. We have, okay, yep. So I could hear her too after a minute, Bill, but then she couldn't hear us. So we got to figure that out. So she was fine when we were backstage. She could hear me. I could hear her. It's so interesting. Ellen's in the house. I appreciate you, Leslie. Oh my gosh. We have got so much going on. We have got, let me see here. Let me bring her back up. Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes. Perfect. I'm back.
Isn't it interesting when technology does that crazy stuff to us? Jeffrey, nice to see you. Jason's here. Bill Hobbs is over in YouTube land. I love it. Guess what? Kinga, I got good news because we're really trying to keep this super positive tonight. 2025 has been filled with so much ick for so many of us, but we're going to keep it positive tonight. I just realized when I clicked on YouTube, I finally made it to 100 subscribers.
Oh,
Yesterday,
congratulations.
so thank you, the two people that subscribed. If you haven't yet, please, it's right going scrolling off the screen. I'm going to take that down in just a couple minutes. So go subscribe. You don't have to do like a fancy account. You don't have to post stuff to get into your Gmail and just go to YouTube. It's super easy. We have so many different things that we want you to talk about tonight. We're going to be putting them up on the screen in a minute. I tell you, Kinga is like the queen of AI if you do not know her. And literally 20 minutes before we go live, she sends me a list like this long of extra AI type of topics we could talk tonight. So we are talking about good things from 25 and things we're looking forward to in 26, aren't we, Kinga?
We
Do you
are.
want to share something cool for you?
I have just been, well, first of all, my mom's here in town, and so I am really excited because we weren't necessarily expecting to be able to spend time together. So give a shout out to my mom. She's
Amen.
watching in the other room,
And
and she is amazing. So I'm just really, really happy to be able to spend some time with her. And I've just, it's just an awesome way for me to spend the end of the year. And although it has been a difficult year for many of us, I've been sharing some of the great people that I've met. And so I already see so many faces here. And to have that kind of support, it just means the world to me. And reconnecting with a lot of my old friends and reminding me of who I am and all that good stuff. So I am ready to dive in and just get it going because now my headset's working again. You were talking like a wah, 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 and I was like, I gotta go.
It is so funny because it's like you were trying to be present. I could see it on your face, and you're like, what is she doing without any sound to go?
It was actually that like slow-mo voice. And so I was like, you kind of sound like a monster. I gotta go.
Oh my gosh, Linda's here, Yolanda's here, Randy's here, Lisa Frederick's here. Oh my gosh, we are just hopping tonight. Guys, there have been so few shows because, well, it's the end of the year and a lot of people are taking time with wrapping up their family stuff, their friends stuff, they're being out of work, having to go to the office, all this stuff. If you're in Michigan like me, the whole state's covered with ice. They had crazy weather. We had some ice fly off the overpass. I would not kind of joke about that, but he did survive. So that's great. Crazy weather, crazy things going on. So let's get into the good stuff. I want to hear, before we put up one of the questions, Kinga, is there anything that you want to share about, like, because most of our people joining us today are from LinkedIn. There are some Facebook, there are some people in real life that I know, there are some YouTube people, but something specifically about YouTube, anything that you would be willing to share?
Well, so William Rochelle, Bill, we call him Bill, our good friend, he and I have been jumping onto Substack. And because of Substack, we have also been sharing some of those to YouTube, which has been super fun. Instead of having some conversations, we're like, let's just hop over there. And then catching some of our fun clips gets us over to YouTube. Our friend Erin Gibson highlighted one of the shows and wrote a song, and so had this really awesome song, and I got to have that on YouTube. So having that space where we get to actually share, and then you had me on your show, and having that opportunity where we can just have this authentic conversation with friends that we have already built these relationships for a long time, and having an opportunity to share our business, our passion, the things that kind of finally converge, right? It's like I've always had my life, the things that I'm passionate about, but where I really turned my business into something that kind of came together, and to share that with my friends. And here we are. And this is the opportunity. This is how I think 2026 is going to share, really kind of form for us, and to build that out in the open. That's what we can do. And so here we are for it. What about you? I want to hear about you too.
So, you and I met specifically because we were in a book together, and we didn't just meet because we were in a book together. We actually got stuck together to read each other's rough drafts together without even knowing each other hardly at all at that time. And gosh, that was a couple of years now, been 2 full years, 2.5 years now. Yeah. And look at us go. Then we were in a trilogy together. We weren't in the exact same book, but we were in the trilogy. We have been on shows. You were a guest on Just Jackson Guest. So if you guys are new to this show, because I know Kinga invited so many great people, I love it. This airs every single Monday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I started this the very first Monday in April. I have never taken a break. I have done this show sick. I have done it from Missouri. I've done it from Chicago. I've done it from Arizona. And I even did it right after I left the hospital after my son's accident. I've done it when I've had to stay at work late because it's passionate to me, because this is all about hyping other people. It's promoting mental wellness. It's trying to get that positivity. And when I have guests on this show, I try to have two guests. Tonight, it's just Kinga and I, because she's amazing. She's amazing. And I wanted to end the year with somebody that not only I knew would be willing to just be vibrant and exciting with me, but she has had my back in so many capacities, things that some people don't even realize. Like, there have been times that we've been in the comments on other people's shows together, and she's like, Jackie, I need to check on you. Did that sound like that was offensive to you? Did somebody just do this to you? I'm here for you. What do you need? What can I do for you? And I'm like, oh my gosh, that feels amazing. And like I said, we're not going to get into the ick from 2025, but thinking about somebody taking the time to check in on you, even if you're not offended, just the idea she did that is amazing. She was a guest one night, and she got to be on the same time as my buddy Eric from Michigan, and just a great connection there. But she shows up consistently week after week. She's in these comments. She's getting to know other people, and she's making sure other people's voices are heard. So I thought it was just a perfect end to the year. And Kinga, I can't thank you enough. So thank you for everything wonderful you have been doing. Do you want to read off the first question that we want people to start writing in the comments about?
Sure. Yeah. Like, let's start honoring everybody. And I think that this, just for everybody that is new here, this is the space. This is the place to me where, here we have somebody who really is trained in doing exactly what she's talking about. And so we do have a lot of people that claim the space, but aren't necessarily trained. And so, it is the space. And when you want to feel safe and you want to know that you are held in that space, this is where I feel comfortable coming, and also know that, it's to be celebrated. And so, I feel really honored because it's fun. It's fun to come and just hear and learn. And so much of what I am about is understanding like what the scope is of the space around us. So know that everybody that's here in these comments is here because they want to get to know one another. And that is the intention that we're setting here. So really check each other out and come with this open mind of like, engage with one another. Okay, so what is something that you are happy about that happened in 2025? And just start like tossing stuff in there. So that way we can get to know one another, because many of you know either me or Jackie, or hopefully both of us, but we want to know about you as well, and for you all to get to know each other.
Ellen's already saying meeting you.
Oh,
I think 2026 we got to meet each other in person.
I'm sorry?
I think in 2026 you and I need to meet each other in person.
We do.
So funny thing, because you talked about, 2025, you got to meet Bill. You guys really started forming this friendship, and you guys are on Substack. I've only been able to catch you guys live there once. But one thing you might not know is Mr. Bill not just shares those clips to YouTube, he's also sending you to TikTok. So I get to watch you on there after the show goes on. One thing
that not surprise me.
Right? Isn't it amazing? It's so cute. It's like I have so few people I'm following on TikTok. I've got a very few people following me. I'm trying to grow it. And on my TikTok, I'm totally different than who you see on Facebook or LinkedIn. I focus mostly on dating and relationships over there. And so I'm like scrolling, trying to find other dating people. And all of a sudden there's Bill and Kinga. I'm like, I know them.
Bill, do I have a profile on TikTok?
You're just linked to him.
Okay. Oh gosh.
So much.
Yeah, so thank you so much. Also, we have Ellen here, and what I want to talk about with Ellen is I met her in the She Is AI school community, and that is a community that I have brought up several times, and that community is just an amazing group of people. I say women because she is AI and it's obviously geared towards bringing a lot of women because we have an issue with not getting enough women into technology, just in general, right? And so we see this gap that's just continuing to form. But honestly, men are in there as well, and because people just support us, and it's wonderful. I have never like just seen so many people that are passionate about sharing information and doing it at the pace that people are ready to receive it, and genuinely there to like bring others into like and doing it in a very inspiring way, doing it in a way that's like, hey, this can be beautiful, this can be, and so it's just really felt natural and embracing for me. So shout out to the She Is AI community. We have Deanna. She's also blow your mind. I mean, you have to go check out these women's profiles. So please, all of my friends, that I want you to kind of cross communicate, cross community collaborate.
I love
Because
that.
they're all, yeah, it's really cool.
Oh, that is so neat. And so for some of us, AI can be a little bit more like a game, or it can be more like, oh, let's do a cute little picture. Some of us, we only use it for work. And Kinga, because of the work she does and her knowledge and everything, she has been helping me in ways that I never knew I needed help with AI. And it's just like from a quick little text, or we do a phone call talking about something totally different. And then boom, we're talking about this. And I'm like, I understand it more because she's doing all these groups with this great group, and then she's trickling out. So think of all the other people in your group that are trickling out. That's what this world is all about. Gregory, we are not doing an open stage tonight. There are so many cool questions that Kinga and I came up with that we want people to interact with each other in the audience, because that's how we build community. We want people at the end of this year to feel like you are not alone. You have people on your side. You have people that you're going to connect with. And those are a couple of the questions that are coming up in a minute. And it's important that we realize that not just do we want to make sure that we have the numbers, we want to get to know these people. We want to get to know, what are they good at? When somebody does a show like this, I mean, you could literally learn something that you never realized you even needed to know or wanted to know or anything like that. And that's one of the coolest things, is that you don't know what you don't know. And if you're not putting yourself out there in some capacity, how are you not going to expand? How are you not going? We've talked about that too, about how can people not want to grow? I love it so much. Oh, we have Ennie in the house. Ennie has been working it. He's been hanging out with Noni all day. They did a live show today in London.
Wow.
Ennie, do you know how terribly jealous I am of you? Because Noni was in the exact same room I was in when I did my Just Jack show over the July 4th weekend. She wouldn't come on screen with me. She peeked around my head one time, waved, and she was off camera. He got a whole show with her, and I appreciate you so much for saying that, Ennie. And he should be in bed right now, and he's not. He's here. Guys, I've already seen at least 4, maybe 5 different countries that are in the house. So if you're new to the show and we don't know where you're coming from, put it, what country, what city, what state, whatever you want to put, but only if you feel comfortable doing that. We are going to go back after the show and acknowledge some of the comments that we might miss during the show, because it's already going by so fast. And I tell you, this girl gave me so many questions that we want you guys to be talking about. So if you're willing, in the comments now, you can still put what you're happy about from 2025. And I had put up here a LinkedIn user comment that was Damien. Thank you, Damien. I was so thankful to meet you in person. One of my absolute highlights of 2025, without a doubt, my biggest highlight over LinkedIn, because I am only here because of Damien. I mean, I was just a kind of little bit of a user. He got my voice out there. He realized that I had the potential to talk to other people other than in just my circle. So kind of what I just said, Kinga, like, we want to get people out there and meeting people and interacting, not just with Kinga and I, but doing it in the comments is where those relationships are built. Some of you remember the old audio rooms, and that's where Damien and I started. That's probably where I saw your first little picture pop up, Kinga, after we did the book, or right before we did the book. And having that community, it wasn't about just who you heard on stage. It was seeing all those faces that were there, and they were coming back each week, each month, whenever it was, to share that space with each other. And that's what's huge. So now let's talk about, what are you excited about in 26? Do you want to share anything, Kinga, while people are starting to write and catch up in the comments?
Yeah, and I do have to pile on Damien for a second, because how can I
How
not?
can you not?
How can I not? Because when I mentioned to my mom that I was coming and hanging out with you, and I was like, oh yeah, and originally she was doing the show with Damien. She goes, I recognize that name. And I was like, of course you do, because Damien has had such an impact on me as well. And I think about when I was going through a really tough time, and I was like, I just have to meet him. Like I have to talk to him, and he's so chill, and you just have this like draw to him, and he just said something that was just so meaningful and so appropriate in that moment, that was exactly what I needed to hear. And we didn't even know each other that well, but he knew exactly what to say to me, and it helped me. It helped push me forward. Oh my gosh, Christopher's here! Everybody, you've got to get to know him. I'm seeing names pop up, and I'm like, ah.
We are right across the street from each other. Please tell me you didn't get in that 50 car pile up today.
Yeah, Christopher, tell us what's going on. I met Christopher at an amazing event years ago, and he's just also just an incredible person. And so, when I meet people, I'm like, tell me more. I have this like insatiable curiosity around people. When I find out like a little bit, I find them very, very fascinating. And he is on the radio, and but also like when you're talking about now I'm kind of going off topic from Damien already. Sorry, Damien. But Christopher was helps people with events, with large events, and I just think like, wow, you're the one that saves people when they're like, when you've been in corporate, or you have like kind of that freak out moment, kind of like, oh, when we just started this. And he makes sure that things don't fall apart. He would have made sure that I didn't have the sound mic, go failure. But we're cool, we're fine. Yeah, but at really big events and stuff like that. And I was just like, the things when something goes wrong and someone has your back, and I find it so fascinating that there's so many opportunities in life to be that person, and we don't necessarily pause and think about that. And those people that seek those opportunities, I just love that. So
I love that too.
yeah, so get to know each other, because there's a lot of them out there.
Yeah, for sure. So we are getting some people that are already going to this one. So I'm going to move us down to the next question.
How you answer, because I keep talking too much.
No,
how are you going to invest? Yes, I do.
The co-host. You deserve to have your voice. I can talk and talk. How will you invest in yourself next year? So you and I have talked about this behind the scenes. Leslie and Damien and I talked about it on Saturday during our Leadership 2350 network. So I am in two different networks, and 2350 network is my main one. I joined another one focusing on re-entry, which is called the H3 network. And you'll hear more about that in 2026. But Leslie, Damien, and I had a really powerful discussion about who you're letting into your daily space, your weekly space, your intentional space. And this can be in the workforce, it can be on the friendship network, it can be in just your community. Are you putting yourself around people that truly want to grow and learn and hype you? Or are you spending time with people that are just okay maintaining? They don't really have any interest in getting involved with new people or trying to elevate. And they're kind of those, not necessarily doom and gloom, but sometimes they are kind of the negative Nancy or that. And that is one of my intentions for investing in myself, is to make sure that I spend more time with Damien, because last year his new job didn't always align with my schedule. So we weren't able to do as much stuff. Even just our normal texting and stuff was a little different. So spending more time with him, spending time with you, learning more things that can not just elevate me professionally, but also personally, because I've got some major goals, and everybody should have goals, even if you don't call them goals, even if you call them things to look forward to or things I want to do. If that word goal sounds scary, don't use it, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm investing in myself by who I'm spending time around, what I'm cutting out of my life, and what I'm putting into my life. And I think we should elevate or actually examine that not just at the end of the year. I think we should almost do that like a weekly, a monthly, a quarterly review of our own self. What about you?
Yeah,
How are you?
absolutely. I mean, it's very much aligned with kind of the methodology that I would coach teams on, because we would do, whether we call it goal setting or not, but we would have kind of a focus, weekly focus, right? And if you truly are focused on running, instead of thinking about running away from something, thinking that I'm running towards something, and I just am running towards a direction, and I'm running so hard. I used the phrasing. Actually, it was in the book that you and I wrote in our first chapter that we shared, and I was like, I think of it like running through the jungle, like, and nothing can get in my way, and it's like you're ripping through, and it's like you want to be unstoppable, because you're so passionate, you're so excited to get towards something, and you're just like, come on, people, like, we're like rallying, and when you feel that way because you're excited about life, and you're excited about, like, I'm imagining things, I'm imagining possibilities, I'm creating these possibilities in my mind, and I'm using the capacity that I have to be creative and the people around me to be creative, then I see answers come about, and I look for them, right? And when you just think like that and you get yourself in that mindset, like, it's abundant, right? You get into that abundant mindset, and you just live there. You don't know how to think otherwise. So you really aren't, you are no longer living in this way that, like, things are kind of pulling you back. You're like, get out of my way. Like, ugh. And so when things do kind of pull at you, you're like, no, that's dead weight, and so, yeah, I think that, like, unfortunately, because we don't want to look at people in that negative, that sounds kind of negative, and you don't mean it that way, but you're like, I'm just excited. I am just that excited about what I want around me and for others. And so sometimes we need that. We need that energy.
We need that energy, not just socially, but this thing up here needs that, because when it gets complacent, when we're not engaging our brain matter, when we are not pushing ourselves and manifesting cool things or talking about what we want in the future, our brain kind of decides it's going to take a break. And if you talk to Leslie Flowers, she'll talk about the difference between the brain and the mind. And when the brain doesn't think it needs to protect you and do all the things, then your mind starts getting a little bit mushy. And that's why, there's so many people that will, like, retire and they mostly sit on the couch and cut the grass, and that's it. And you hear that they pass away a couple weeks later, a month, a year after retirement, where there's other people that they're like, okay, I'm retired now, I'm going to go work here, I'm going to volunteer here, I'm going to travel, I'm going to solve these puzzles, I'm going to do stuff to activate my brain in a way that's really cool. So that's what I mean, is I just want people to realize we get one chance in this life. And some of us have had really sucky lives, and we've had bad roadblocks, and we have physical or mental strains. We have people that are toxic. We have stuff that gets in the way. How can we try to move forward and remind this thing up here that we deserve better? We deserve to learn. We deserve to have hope. And that's what I hope everybody can see at some point in time, because, man, it's important stuff. Now, this is one that I just loved, this question that you came up with. And I'm not going to say that your little friend AI did it for you. But this one, what do you think when you look at this? Dropping one topic, because we just talked about our brains need to be active in talking about my 5 million things. But what is one topic that you guys are willing to put in the comments that you are passionate about? It's exciting to you. It can be work related. It can be personal. It can be whatever. And tag one person that you want them to comment on your topic. Are you willing to do this, guys? Because this is going to take some work on your end. And I want to know what your topic is, Kinga. You knew I was going to ask that.
Yeah. So, I think about the this is kind of how I landscape my life, right? I do this kind of inventory check often. So something that I care about, like, and I thought about that when I wrote the post to now it's like being on the show, right? So when I thought about like the year, I was like, okay, AI feels like this big scary monster or whatever, like so I joined She Is AI, right? And then it's like, okay, and I think about years before, I haven't published. Okay, so then I wanted to start, publishing. Like, so when Nick offered the opportunity, I was like, yes, Willie J, yes, like I'm in, and the Forbes Coaches Council, yes, like, okay, so I want to explore and play in these areas. So for me, I what I do is I research, what do I feel is something that I haven't tried? What do I feel like is the next way to bring myself to a level that I want to reach, is an area that I think is going to help me expand. And then I think about, okay, well, who are the people that can help me get a little closer? And so I am, it's going to be for next year. There is more global reach that I'd like to do, a little bit more global like impact that I want to do. I think that we have started to kind of withdraw in ways that I'm not loving seeing. So I want to understand some of the like financial impact that we're having, and so things like that. Maybe some of the policy changes that are happening and how that's actually going to impact people. So I think there's like a lot that I can get a layer deeper in, where I want to actually kind of get into. But I still think that there's a lot that I can learn around my own business, and I need to really work on that itself. So there's going to be a heavy investment in myself first, which I have to do, and a lot of it for me has been just understanding the system of systems, because how I help people is to try to navigate things. That is what I enjoy doing, is to kind of wrap my brain around like what's the state of things, so that when people like when I have a conversation, I feel I can help them in a responsible way. I get very frustrated when people give advice that is totally like where I'm like, you don't really know at all what you're talking about. And so I like to feel like I'm being somewhat of a responsible steward.
I love that. And I appreciate you sharing that, because I posted something the other day about the difference between coaches and counselors and consultants, even. And it's really important that those of us that have side businesses, that have full time businesses, stay in our lane. There are so many people struggling with intense mental wellness issues. And if you are seeking that support through somebody that is more of a coach orientation, you're going to get a different vibe, and it could end up backfiring. And that person could be trying to treat you in a way that is not meant for your brain and mind and your physical body to absorb. But there's great news. You can see a coach and a counselor. You can go to an advisor, and you can go to a consultant. You can go to trainings, and you can take college courses. You can be your own presenter and do your own training while you sign up for somebody else's training. That's the cool thing about that growth. And I'm excited that we're getting a lot of people say things that they're looking forward to and different things that they're going to do, because we need this. We need this energy. We need to say, closing this store does not mean that I can't still welcome all the good stuff I learned this year, but I can build on it. I can change, I can adapt, or I can say, you know what? Didn't love those lessons. Let's go out and relearn everything with a different person. Maybe you have this one coach and you thought they were great. And then you looked around and you're like, I haven't done anything different than what I did 6 months ago. Maybe don't say every coach is bad. Same thing with therapists. You may go to therapy and you're like, oh, I'm still anxious. I'm still depressed. This hasn't helped my relationship. What do I do? Well, guess what? Shop around. You deserve to find somebody new and not say that all coaches are bad, all counselors are bad. Figure out what works for you and try somebody new. because all of us are different. Kinga and I, we talk all the time. We really support each other, but we have totally different personalities and we have different ways that our brains work. And so some of you guys are like, pick Kinga, please. She's going to do everything I need. And other people are like, you know what? First, I want to start with Jackie because you know this and this. That's okay. And then switch when you need to. Don't feel like you're stuck, whether it's medical, mental health, counseling, coaching, if it's something professional development that your boss even tells you to go to and you get stuck and mandated to go to it and you don't love it and you're like, there's got to be a different way. Find other information. Continue to seek that knowledge. Oh, I love that.
Yeah, and I think where you and I are aligned is like I'm happy for that person if they get what they want. Like it's not that I'm not wanting you for me, I'm wanting you for you, like because I would hope that you would want the same thing for me.
Yes.
But it's more important because there's enough for everybody if we think this way. So, it's better that we all get what our needs are. And so I do want to put that question back on you because I do think it's a really great question. And so what would be kind of like for you? And I guess I don't know that I necessarily answered a direct one either. So
let's just go to another comment then. Let's go right here.
And hopefully people are making good connections in these comments too.
Because
I'm looking, I'm like, wow, there's a lot.
Oh, I love it. I love that energy. I love the vibe. 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time is a tough time for a lot of people. If you're on the East Coast, 3 hours behind, you're sometimes eating dinner, just getting home from work, dealing with the kids or whatever. If you are in some of our other countries that are representing, it's kind of the middle of the night. Or when Sharito joins, usually she's always here. It's bright and early for Sam for her in the Philippines. I know, right?
Thank you for being vulnerable.
But the question that kind of really focuses on when you talk about staying in your lane. We want to know, guys, and we're going to put some of these answers up. So be serious. This is a chance to pitch yourself, show off your business, show off your knowledge. What is one topic that you know more about than anybody else? And we're not judging, we're not comparing, because we want to know, because you deserve to know what your expertise is. Okay. You deserve to know it. For me, I would probably pick reentry. I would pick trauma informed. I talk mental wellness. I talk working with youth. But then is that all? Because that's more than one topic. So which one would I focus on? You have to do some thinking, because then they were going to be like, ooh, I do want to go to her for that. But whether it's because you've lived it, whether you built it, whether you've studied it, whether it happened to you, it's lived experience, because lived experience is something that none of us should be ashamed of, no matter what that experience is, because every single second of your life that happened before right now today has helped make you who you are. So we want to hear it. What is something that you are super qualified in? Now, some of us don't like that word expert, so if you don't want to say that, but what do you have knowledge in? And Kinga, I'm going to make you answer this too.
Yeah. So I love this because we talked about this the other day, where it's like, no one can take that away from you. And so we can really embrace that when we think about that, like it is your superpower. Like we can lean into the fact that no one has walked in our shoes, and that when we look at it from the fact that we have a unique perspective and that only you understand it from your lens and only you know what it's like to do what you've done from your perspective, then you really do offer something that nobody else can. And so for me, it was leading through these transformations in the technology space in the time that I did, and making the difference and the type of impact that I did, which was, I think, pretty significant, and taking companies to the level that I did and the hyper growth that I did, and, I can kind of go on and on, but when I kind of extract that and then say, and what do I want to do today? And where can I actually make the most impact? What I think that I can really hone in on is that I can identify patterns. I developed strong pattern recognition due to the fact that I had to kind of hold back in a lot of ways. And so that ability has allowed me, as much as it also hurt, when I kind of take that pain away, it allows me to be in a space where I can tell someone that wants to invest in it to say, hey, if you want me to have your back, I can tell you where your blind spots are. I can tell you, who's kind of manipulating what situation, because I could spot that stuff a mile away. I can spot it. I can forecast, because a lot of my job, 99% of my job, was risk management, forecasting, identifying situations, spotting team behaviors. And I had a knack for it like months before anybody else did. And so that is kind of how I could actually help people.
I love that so much. We are getting some people being willing to share what their topic is. I love this so much.
Let's hear it.
Isn't it cool? We got Benny Joe saying video content marketing. We have got, oh my gosh, I gotta show you Stevens, because this is just books. He is LinkedIn's librarian.
I love Steven. Hi, Steven.
And I want to digress for a minute while we're waiting for a couple more comments. Some of you don't realize this, but you can support your people sometimes without spending a dime, sometimes with, but things like commenting on people's posts, coming to these live events, sharing, reposting something is great. But if you're going to be a guest on my show, or you've made an impact in my life in some capacity, I will buy your merch. I will, where do I got my little keychain from the Guiding Brilliant Writers? Love it. But these are just a few of the books that I've actually bought this year. So this one, we've got Jack and Walter, Paulette's book. Noah Asher, my dear friend, I Hear Keys. I also bought his Chaos book, but that's on my phone. I mostly do downloads because I want to be able to get to them fast, so I can at least read a good chunk of your book, so I can make sure that I actually can give you a review, because reviews take about 30 seconds to maybe a minute or two to write, and it goes so far. We've got a publisher in the house, Nick. We've got a librarian in the house. We've got multiple authors in anthology. Yes, show off your picture in the back, girl. Which one is you? Can you see yourself? You're in that circle. There you are. Oh, I love it so much. We don't realize what just a couple words can do. I've got Dr. Calvin Lawrence's book, Leadership. I just bought Gina's leadership book. That should be here Wednesday. And then Leslie and I, during our conversation the other day, she was telling me about a book she wrote 10 years ago that's all about female and wealth and leadership and such. That's going to be here on Friday. So excited. And then Dr. Marcia, I love the idea that so many people put books into real paper. You can hold them, you can touch them, you can have them on your phone at a blink of an eye. I've got so many books on here. And if you're going to be a guest on Jess Jackson Guest, I do my best to try to order your book or to review it. And guys, sometimes if you follow people that are talking about launching a book, Leslie put in here, she's trying to figure out for this year, how many books, which book is she going to write this year? When you follow people that are talking about writing a book, when they put launch day out, there are sometimes is a free download that day, a 99-cent download, $1.99, $3.99. That money you wouldn't even spend on a coffee if you're going to some fancy coffee place, but it could literally mean that your friend got their book into the right people's hands because they saw other people buying it, talking about it, a review on it. So I do appreciate you letting me digress there, because I think it's really important that when we talk about support and we talk about going into 2026 with intentions and with supporting other people and wanting people that want to be elevated with us, we've got to do some work too. It doesn't need to cost you money though, right?
Yes. And honestly, I think that I love my community, and by my community, I mean, I think it's a lot of work to be a community owner and builder. And so I like to, I think of it as just my people, right? And that we're all free to come and go. And to be a community owner is very difficult. It comes with a lot of responsibility. And so I enjoy being somebody who supports communities. And because I need to learn and I have this great thirst for learning, I kind of pop in and out, and I appreciate that people allow me that space, because I know I spread myself thin sometimes, because I kind of take like, okay, I have a lot of needs to learn, so that I can try to take care of everybody. And it's hard. It's really hard to be able to support people to the level that I want to and still be able to grow my business, which I have neglected in a lot of ways. But, so I'm going to have to focus on that, because it's at the same, like, I'm giving up some of that to do that. But also I think that makes me the responsible business owner that I want to be. And so I think, though, to circle back to that, like, support, some really cool stuff happens because it is a cycle. It is this like kind of collective, rhythm that you get into. And if you go into it thinking, I don't know how this is all going to work out, but what I do know is that I'm building, and somehow the people that I'm supposed to resonate with, the people that I am supposed to be with, I'm going to end up with, and I'm just going to have the faith that that's going to be, and it's going to shake out the way it's supposed to, then it turns into something really cool. At least I believe that in my heart. And, I see beautiful things happening. Like Willie J is a good example to me, where I think yesterday or today I saw that he has a #1, and he's hit it so many times, like a #1 on Amazon. Well, yeah, football music all the time, but like, #1 Amazon song, and it's like I look at him, and then it's like Taylor Swift, and he's like #1, and I'm like, go Willie J, like, we
wrote a book with him.
Yeah, and he always is positive, right? He's always charitable and all this stuff, right? And so it's like, I really do believe that if you are going with that spirit, it does. So.
I love that. So one of the things, we do have a lot of people in the audience that do have their own business, or they have a side gig, or they have something that they're trying to bring to next year, or they're trying to open. You just talked about wanting to focus a little bit more on your business, and you were telling me a couple different ways you're going to do that. But if you have any special offers, or if anybody in the comments, or even on replay, so if you do catch this on replay, guys, don't ignore the comments. Go back to especially the LinkedIn comments. If you're on my Facebook, that's fine too. YouTube kind of disappears the comments unless you watch it afterwards. So if you do want to go back there, go ahead and go back after it's done being live. Because if you have a special offer, if you're like, okay, I really want to start doing this workshop, but what if nobody comes? Or I want to do this workshop, but I don't want to charge full price until I've had 1 or 2 under my belt. Put on there if you have a special offer. So if you visited my website, I launched my website the last week of September, the first week of October, justjacksadvising.com. It says right when you go to that website page, right at the top, any services booked by the end of 2025 has a discount. So guys, if you're interested in working with me, now I say I do a lot of dating and relationships, but I also do family stuff and family reunification and a whole bunch of stuff, because I've been around a while, Kinga, so I got a lot of experience, unfortunately, or fortunately. So if you are interested in working with me, now is the time, because on January 1st, that's going bye-bye. That is done. 2026, I'm in full price. I may even up some different prices, because mama's got to pay the bills. And this is the longest I've went without any travel plans, Kinga, because I'm working towards being a living kidney donor, and I don't want to have any plans get disrupted for that. So trying to make sure that I can take care of myself, take care of the needs that I need, because travel is kind of my therapy. And so doing that for me is important. So if you have an offer you want to share about, please go ahead and share that now, Kinga. Otherwise, anybody in the comments, like I said, go back. If you want to go back and somebody talks about, hey, I'm an expert in financial management and you want to get your finances straight, go ahead and reach out to them. If somebody talked about AI Kinga talked about this. She is on AI. If that's a group you want to join, or if it's a community that you want to check into, a school or something, it's okay to reach out, investing in yourself, but also you may be able to turn around and learn something so you can do an offer for somebody else down the road.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Highly encourage that. Again, I do enjoy like learning at my own pace because I do think that like it's hard. It's really hard. And so one of the things that I'm leaning heavily into is having a way currently to transition, not just from LinkedIn has been one of the heavy spaces, but I really enjoy also having these kind of conversational ways of working with people because honestly, my entire career in life was coaching, teaching, helping people in the moment. I'm kind of an in the moment worker. Like I love being in the moment where I advise people or assess situations because I believe a lot of change actually needs to happen in the moment. I think that's often where we need to kind of nip things in the bud or we need to actually notice things and that kind of work. So a lot of my work and the things that I've been offering, I realized, I was almost trying to overcompensate. Like I've written thousands of hundreds of playbooks, and I really appreciate one of my friends commented that I had given him a playbook, and I was like, hey, this is something I did in my company. It's like fintech, and he's like, I changed my entire process because of it, and did out of 10, right? And I was like, yeah, that's stuff that I do like the back of my hand, and I don't realize how valuable that is to a tech CEO, right? And meanwhile, it's like, yeah, that was an everyday for me.
Yeah.
But it's not really what I want to spend all my time doing. It's just something I'm very comfortable doing. And so my offer now is I kept thinking, oh, I just don't want to do it. And I think that's why I was kind of stuck. And I'm like, I don't have to do that. What I can do is in the moment, notice when somebody needs it, in the moment, be like, hey, you really would benefit from something like this, and then hand it over and then do that. So that's really where I think my value can be, is to point out when somebody really is needing the thing. So it's more about that assessment. So I'm going to be working on more of that like assessment side, and I think that there's a need of identifying risks up front that I had been kind of avoiding because a lot of people don't enjoy having their risks pointed out.
No,
And
especially if they're trying to keep those blinders on and pretend that it's not there. I'm going to totally cut you off, my dear friend, because I put this on my Facebook post. I don't know if I actually use this word or not in LinkedIn, but she is a intellectual badass. And if she is going a little bit over your head, it's okay. It's okay. But guys, my friend Bob must have Googled you because I put that on there because he's also a former business owner. And Bob, if you're still listening, you need to book yourself on my show because the world needs to see you outside of just our town. He saw that you have been named one of those 100 innovators and interpreters. I knew that, but you want to speak on that while I go ahead and put the other questions up to get more people in the comments because, girl, our hour is almost done. So will you shout out yourself because you deserve to have people know about that.
thank you, Bob. Yeah, last year I was on the cover of Innovators and Entrepreneurs magazine. Actually, this year I was on the cover of Top 25 Most Inspirational Leaders. So twice they've honored me. And honestly, like it's just something that I'm proud of, but it's just a recognition, I guess. And I have a different approach, I think, than most technology companies, and I think that is something that helped private equity in the past approach problem solving in a team framework. And so it's the way that I would help them. And that's why I've always been drawn to Leslie Flowers. For those of you, she's been commenting, please go to her courses. A lot of mindset, but she and I have been kind of bonding over it because I was doing it like kind of at a team level, but the reporting aspect of it, and kind of working with executives, but maneuvering teams in team organization way. So
There's like nothing you can't do, Kinga. Like, and
that there is.
I mean
There's
this
a lot. There's a lot I can't.
no, I mean this in the best way possible. When you're talking leadership, when you're talking risk management, when you're talking trying to make things better, you are that resonating voice. And, we've talked about it offline multiple times, and you alluded to it a little bit earlier in the show when you talked about there are not enough women voices in the tech space, but it's more than that. There are not enough women in leadership roles. And sometimes that's because as women, sometimes we don't know our own value. And other times it's because of who else is around that board table and who is around the CEO and what the focus is on that. And I can honestly say that when you are supported by people that see your value, whether it is a CEO, whether it is the case manager, whether it is the custodial staff, they see your value. It helps you understand your value more, and it helps you understand how you can outreach to those people. And that's one of the things that I really want other people to realize, and Kinga also to realize, is that you have exponential opportunities to be positive towards some other human. I mean, it literally takes nothing. And if you just smile at them, if you just thank them, if you hold the door open for them, you may have been the nicest person they even came close to talking to that day or the past week or month. And then if you drop just a tiny bit of knowledge, now don't be like hog tying somebody and say, you will learn what I want to teach you, but if they're interested, if they're struggling and you're just like, hey, I've done something similar in the past. Would you want to brainstorm about that? Or, hey, I see that, you've tried this 3 other ways. Do you want any other ideas? Because I've seen somebody else that this happened to. You might be that key that opens up people to so many other possibilities, and then they pass it on. They pass it on. But if you hold all that knowledge in, or if you're like, yeah, you're a woman, you don't deserve this, or, oh, you don't have that degree, you don't deserve that, you haven't been in the hot seat for long enough, you're not only given that negative energy, you may have just changed that person from ever wanting to share their opinion or their information or their talent and skills. So please be nice humans out there. Please trickle out in the best of ways. For real, for real. Kinga and I are going to go back and we are going to check out as many of the comments tonight or tomorrow as possible. If I am not connected to you already, please connect with me because, Damien, we've talked about Damien a couple of times tonight. He was the one that reminded us it's not about the numbers or the connection itself. It's about the relationship and trying to get to know people, because LinkedIn, if you guys are on LinkedIn definitely suppresses some people's comments and content. And I post almost every single day, and some days I get 4 people that like it. Does that mean only 4 people out of over 1 billion people saw that? When you start interacting and when you send a message or when you comment, it helps evolve. So Kinga, what is one last thought that you want to end the show with tonight?
Jackie, thank you. Because honestly, when I'm having a dark moment, because we all have them, we need people like you, because as you started off this show, you show up when you're sick, you show up every week, and you keep putting that foot forward even when you have your hard times, and you keep that momentum going. And I know that a lot of the reason that you do that is because of your love for people. And you're donating. I'm getting goosebumps. You're giving a kidney, right? Like you
will find out after the 5th. I go for my
willing to. You are trying, and you're praying that you can do this for somebody. So that level of care that to put out there in the world, and love that is genuinely to want the same thing for everybody, better for everyone, right? And that things are hard, but if we all continue to try to vibrate this, then we can have a happy new year. We can try to move forward together, and let's try to thrive, right? So let's just bring that in. And I couldn't ask for a better partner to do that with. So thank you so much. I'm honored that I got to be a part of this. And thank you
So
so much to everyone who showed up.
I know these comments are still popping. How amazing. Kinga, first of all, I did not pay her to say that. So thank you very much. Kinga is one of those behind the scenes people that have been there for me more than most people probably realize. And it's something that we decided that we are going to stay way more aligned this coming year. Now, you may not see me doing Substack lives with her and Bill because I just, ooh, but she's welcome anytime back on stage. I think everybody loved your energy. They loved learning about you. I had thought about doing like an open stage and just having anybody that's been a past guest come up and say, what's happened to you since you were on the show or anything. But you know what? This needed to happen the way it happened. I love your energy. I love that you brought new people tonight. I got to meet new people. I think you got to meet some new people in the comments. That is what this is about. It's about community. And if you've heard other people complain or back talk about somebody, get to know that human for yourself. Take the time to be like, okay, we're out of middle school, guys. I want to talk to that person. And if I'm not settling well with that, or I think I might have heard them say this, were they being disrespectful or something? It's okay to ask. And if they're not willing to share with you, then they're not your people. You deserve to have good people. Find a Kinga in your life. Find these people in the comments. Connect with them if you're willing to. Come on stage here and get to share yourself with other people, and other people will gravitate towards you. I charge no fees. I get no sponsor money for this. So there's nothing that you have to pitch outside of who you are as a human. Usually when you're a guest, I have two people. So usually they're about 25 minutes a piece. And I ask the same three questions every time since Kinga was a former guest. And you can go back to my YouTube page at Jackie Holberg LMSW, and you can catch Kinga in my episode. And she was on there with Eric. So it would say Kinga and Eric. You can learn from her back then and find out what her three answers were. And then after those three questions, it's all about you. Do you want to talk about your business? Are you looking for a job? Do you have a hobby you want to talk about? Is there a cause in the world you want to focus on? My only thing, and Kinga knows this well, and I know she'll never stray from it, is you've got to be respectful to people. Coming on my show, being in the comments, you have to be respectful because there's enough people trying to bring us down and to throw rocks and all that stuff. Kinga, you deserve the absolute best end of 25, the best 26. I'm going to be cheering you along. I am going to be there for all of it. I encourage everybody that's in the comments, that's watching replay, connect with Kinga, follow her, check into different conferences, webinars, people's books that you're seeing. If LinkedIn isn't your thing, if you're more on a different vibe, that's okay too. I'm running out of energy here, so what do you want to do?
Yes, and follow, subscribe. I know she hit her goal, but we're surpassing goals now. We are surpassing goals, and we want everybody here to surpass theirs too. So make sure you tell us your goals because we want to help you with that.
And put your business page, your website, your YouTube channel, whatever in these comments. We had so many people that were here in person tonight. A lot of other people said they were coming that maybe weren't able to make it. They get alerts on that, guys. It's a free promotion of your stuff. So I'm looking forward to networking more with more of you. Looking forward to great stuff in 2026. I already have both speakers for, I think, the first 2 or 3 weeks of January. There's a couple of you in the comments I'm going to be hounding because I'm ready for a date to be locked in. Kinga, of course, you are welcome back anytime. Let me know how I can support you. And guys, don't you think Kinga needs her own show?
It's
it out
probably coming.
But you know I'm going to be all about hyping you, my friend. Thank you, guys. I appreciate you. Again, if your comments didn't show up on screen, it's probably one of those LinkedIn goblins. We're going to go back and check them out. If you commented and it was a question on YouTube, as soon as I hit end, we won't be able to read them. So either go back to YouTube and put it in after the show is done, or message Kinga or I directly through LinkedIn. Thank you, guys. We're going to do the outro song. Are you going to dance with me again, Kinga?
Always.
Okay.
I will not leave you hanging.
I appreciate it. Now that I got my voice back, I can. No, I'm not going to sing. It's never going to happen on a live. But let's do the outro. Let's dance a minute, and then I'll put up how you can reach me. And we will see you in 2026. Bye, everyone.
Yeah, let's go. Oh, yeah. Our thing just jacks, we lift every voice. people a choice. Restorative justice, repair what was torn. Conflict resolution, new trust can be born. Family unification, bring loved ones back. Busting just jacks, we stay on that track.